Make sure that you've got your feet raised if you need to. Bum to the back of the chair. And only if it's handy, if you want to use an essential oil. Sorry, I'm getting up to move again. Sorry. Should have said that at the beginning. I'm using spearmint today. It's a new oil I got. So I have my spearmint and my peppermint. So it's really nice. Yeah. It's like inhaling chewing gum. So lovely. So if you want to put a drop on the hands, warm it up. Nice cupping over the nose and inhaling it in. And just softening the shoulders as you breathe out. Making sure not to get any of that oil near your eyes. And once more, just rubbing the hands together. Nice deep inhale. Rest the hands down and just softly let the breath out. Closing over the eyes. And have one hand sitting on top of the other. So the palms of the hands kind of resting on top of each other, or the back of one hand is sitting in the palm of the other, and the thumbs are pressed together. Elbows are hanging by your sides. Crown of the head is extending upwards. The shoulders are coming to the back of the chair. Hips are coming to the back of the chair. We'll do a little body scan. See how we're feeling physically today. So when you're traveling down from the top of the head, notice, first of all, if your head feels okay, or if you've got any sort of slight headache, or if there's a lot of busyness going on, or, you know, a lot of stress with all of the news, just being aware of how the mind is feeling. And if the thoughts are coming and going very quickly, just allow them to. Don't try to stop them. Don't try to interrupt your thoughts with your own voice saying, this should stop, I should be. There's no shoulds. So it's just letting the thoughts, being aware of what the thoughts are. So are they of other things going on, things to do? And then just when you've taken a moment to acknowledge the thoughts and letting them pass through, it's almost like saying, yeah, welcome, thanks a million. You know, in one door, can go in through one ear and out the other. And then bringing the awareness to the forehead. To the forehead and the space around the eyes. Sometimes if we're thinking a lot, we can furrow our brow. We can knit the eyebrows together. Or there might be kind of spasming muscles around the eyes if you've been squinting or anything. You'll see I have my glasses on today. Stop me from squinting. And again, you're just paying attention. You're noticing without judging. If you would like to try to soften the space, you can imagine the smoothness of the forehead. You can imagine the smoothness and the relaxation around the eyes. Or you might imagine your eyes smiling. So you could imagine the corners of your eyes turning upwards. Imagine a little twinkle in your eye. And then down to the cheekbones, nostrils. You feel the breath coming in through the nose and out through the nose. Or if that feels like too much at the moment, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth is perfect. And just try to imagine that when you're breathing in, you're smelling your favorite flower, or if there's a particular smell of an essential oil or anything else that doesn't cause you to sneeze, but you're breathing in the smell of something. And then when you're blowing out, imagine you're trying to blow out a candle flame that's a little bit away, and you're trying to breathe a long, slow breath to breathe out that candle flame. And once more, Breathing in and breathing out deeply and being consciously aware of it. And coming down to the jawline, notice if you're clenching the jaw at all, if you've got the teeth clenched at the back, or if you could soften the back of the mouth. The muscles at the back of the throat, you might not be aware of how they're actually feeling, but it's about this sort of imagining the muscles there at the back of the throat are softening. Allowing the tongue to be nice and relaxed in the mouth. Maybe you're noticing what taste you have in your mouth, or noticing your swallow, how the throat is feeling. And if you feel thirsty at any stage, making sure to have your drink of water. Coming down to the shoulders, adjusting the shoulders as necessary, because you want to open up the shoulders so that you're not rolling the shoulders forward. So you're opening them up, bringing them to the back of the chair. Scapula, or the shoulder blades at the back, are just sliding down. You can imagine that they're sliding down the back of the chair, allowing the upper body to sit upright, nice and tall, the nice openness of the neck and throat. And your tummy's relaxed. So imagine that your tummy muscles on the outside are nice and soft to expand as you breathe in, and then drawing in and contracting as you breathe out. The sitting bones, the points of connection with the seat. Notice how the bum is feeling, the muscles at the backs of the thighs, hamstrings, and then at the fronts of the legs, the creases at the tops of the legs, the hip flexors, the quads, the knees, and then the lower half of the legs, your calves, shins, soles of the feet, and the toes. And gently opening up the eyes. So wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. And you don't have to be in bare feet for this, you can be in the socks. But if you have shoes on, it would be better if you took the shoes off, just so that you can really feel the feet on the floor. And wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Lifting up the right leg first, just straighten and bend. The left leg, straighten and bend. Once again, right leg, straighten and bend. Left leg, straighten and bend. Lift up the right knee and just, you can bring the hands underneath the thigh if you like, just to lift up that leg a little. Maybe even leaning forward a little bit into a little single-legged forward fold, and then lower that leg back down. Lift up the other leg and lowering the body just a little bit forward, and then place the foot back down on the floor again. This time lifting up the right knee and right foot, you're just circling the hip, little circle in one direction, and then the opposite direction. Moving slowly and mindfully, because this really gets into the hip, and it's really working on the muscle at the front and the back of the leg. And place the foot back down, and then the other side, breathing in, lifting up the knee, breathing out, lowering it down, breathing in, around in that circle, breathing in and out. And then moving in the opposite direction. Connecting with the breath, breathing in one direction, breathing out in the other. In, it's lifting up, out, it's going down. And then place the foot back down again. This time breathing in, sweeping the arms up overhead, looking up at the hands. Breathing out, bringing the arms back down by the sides. It's slightly behind you again. You can lean forward when you bring the arms behind you. Breathing in, lifting the arms up in front, looking up at the hands. And then breathing out, bringing the arms by the sides. And look down at your knees this time when the arms extend out behind you. Breathing in, bringing the arms forward, sitting back, looking up at the hands. Breathing out, bringing them back down by the sides, behind you, looking down at your knees. And one last time, breathing in, bringing the arms up in front, up overhead, looking up at the hands. And breathing out, bringing them back down by the sides and behind while you look down at your knees. And then sitting back upright again, hands on the lap. So wiggle your toes again, wiggle the fingers. And then if you can lift both legs at the same time, We're going to circle those ankles, otherwise you're doing one at a time. And circle the wrists at the same time. So closing the fists, and you're trying to do circles in one direction. And then we change direction, do circles in the opposite direction. And again, if you're just doing one side at a time, that's fine. We're going to take a break now. Put the feet down, hands down. Just get a breath. Nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Opening the eyes again, extending the legs or doing the opposite leg to the one you were doing a second ago. And nice circles in one direction with the ankles, the wrists, and then change direction. And then place the feet back down onto the floor or hooks or blocks, whatever you have underneath, or cushions. Now, what I want you to do is press the outside edges of the feet into the floor so your knees come apart very slightly while you lift the inside edges of the feet up. And then you do it the other direction. So put the inside edges of the feet down and lift up the outside edges of the feet so your knees come together. Once again, outside edges of the feet down, lift up the inside edges of the feet, the knees open up. And then the other direction. Inside edges of the feet down, outside edges of the feet up. Knees come together. And then coming back to the center again. Coming up onto the balls of the feet. So you're lifting up the heels. You might bring the feet back a little bit to be able to do that. And just move the feet from side to side. So it's like you're massaging the ball of the foot. And you're trying to spread out the toes as much as you can. And then bring down the feet again, this time lifting up the toes so you're balancing on the heels. And you might just rock the feet from side to side. They barely move. I mean, you try to move them from side to side when you're on the heel. And then back down again. Once more, up onto the balls of the feet, spreading out the toes. Just move the feet from side to side, maybe moving the heels from side to side. And then the heels, up on the heels, lifting up the toes. Waving the feet from side to side if you can. And then one last one, depending on how your feet feel. Now I need to move my block back. We'll do one foot at a time. Just see if you can curl the toes under to stretch the front of the foot. So it's as if you were a ballerina. Just stretching the front of the foot. If it's painful, don't do it. It's not comfortable. So, but just see if you could maybe even try to stretch the front of the foot, and then place that foot back down. And then do the other side. You might need to move the cushion back a bit, turning the toes under so that you're trying to get a stretch on the front of the foot. And one side might be easier than the other, or they might both be uncomfortable. And of course, if you've got an ingrown toenail or a bunion or a hammer toe or anything like that, if that causes it pain, just come out of it. There's no need to do it. You can just come up onto the balls of the feet and just even trying to come up onto the toes a little bit. Just try to stretch the front of the feet like we do when we're pointing our toes. Then bring the feet flat back onto the floor again. And we do a little stretching into the hands and arms. So bring the left hand, so you're holding up your right hand, the palm is facing out. Left hand is coming across to sit inside the thumb and put the palm across the opposite, the right hand. So you're pushing the right hand into the left, like this. I'll turn it sideways. So you're giving a little resistance with your left arm to the right arm. And you might feel it into the shoulder. And don't forget to breathe. And then the next one, you release the hands and just of the right hand, point the fingers down towards the floor. And then this left hand comes along the back of the hand. So again, this is stretching deep into the inside of the arm. And you'll feel it right up into the shoulder. But try to keep the shoulders from traveling up around the ears. I'll take a scarf off so that you can have a better view. So bring the shoulders down. And then release the left hand off that right hand. And where the right hand is pointing down towards the floor, just turn the palm to face outwards. And then bring the left hand across the palm again. So now you're stretching the whole inside of the arm and the wrist. Don't forget to breathe. And then release and let go. Just shake out the hands. You can open and close the fingers. Roll the wrists if you like and just shake them out. And we do the other side. So left hand is out, saying that stop sign. The right hand comes across as if to pull it back and go, no, 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 you're not going anywhere. So then the left hand is traveling forward and the right hand is pulling it back. So you're getting that resistance into the shoulder and into the arm. Don't forget to breathe. So it's with each breath out that you're relaxing the shoulders down. And then releasing that hand, point the fingers down, the left hand. Right hand comes across the back of the hand. Breathing into it. And release the back of that hand and just turn the palm to face outwards. So the fingers are pointing down, palm is facing outwards, and give it a little resistance. If it's too uncomfortable with the resistance, you can just do that stretch because you can still really feel it on the inside of the arm. Otherwise, the opposite hand is pulling the arm towards the body and the arm that's extended is trying to push away. And then just softly release, shake out the hands, roll the wrists in one direction, roll in the other. Shrug up the shoulders and roll them back and down. So roll them forwards, up, back and down. Breathing in, rolling them forwards and up and back and down. So breathing in, coming forwards, breathing out, coming back. And once more, breathing in, coming forwards, breathing out, coming back. Change directions. Breathing in, going back. Breathing out, going forwards. Breathing in, going back. Breathing out, going forwards. Last time, breathing in, going back. Breathing out, going forwards. Place the hands on the lap. Closing over the eyes for a couple of minutes and we just check in with the neck and the back. Make sure the body is feeling comfortable. And checking the alignment again. So is the bum to the back of the seat, with the shoulders to the back of the chair, palms of the hands are resting on the lap. And this time imagine that there's a little string connecting the left earlobe to the left shoulder and dropping the left ear down towards the left shoulder. So stretching the right side of the neck. If you'd like to go a little bit further, keep the head in the stretched sideways position that it is, but just turn the nose as if to point it down towards the floor. So that deepens the stretch a little on the side of the neck. Don't forget to breathe. And then to come out of it, you look forwards again and then lift the head back up to center. And we're going to do the other side. So imagine the right earlobe is connected to the right shoulder and you're dropping that earlobe down towards the shoulder. And really feel the left shoulder is heavy down away from the left ear, whereas the right shoulder is also heavy, but the right earlobe is reaching down towards it. And if you want to go a bit deeper, keep the head in the position it's at, but just turn the nose. So the nose then rotates the head slightly as if you were to look down towards the floor. That deepens the stretch near the back and the side of the neck. And then turn the head to face forwards again and lift the head back up to center. This time, bringing the first two fingers and pressing the chin towards the neck. So really elongating the back of the neck. And then release the fingers, let the head kind of spring back out again. Take a nice breath in and a breath out. Using the first 2 fingers, press the chin in towards the neck again. So it's imagine that the back of your head starts to lift upwards while your chin gets pressed in towards the throat. And then release, and it kind of gently springs back out again. This time looking over the left shoulder, keeping the shoulders and the hips facing forward, so you're only turning the head. And then back to center. Turning to look over the right shoulder. And back to center. Bring the chin to your chest. And then back up to center. And then look up towards the ceiling. Don't let the head drop back or crunch the back of the neck at all. And then back to center. Now, if you can, crossing the hands across the knees. And you can bring the soles of the feet together. So, well, the sides of the feet together, if you like. So not the whole sole. So sides of the feet together, so the feet are on their sides underneath. And then the knees are falling out to the sides and just looking down towards your feet. So your hands might reach out towards the knees and just relaxing forward into this forward fold. So imagine you're creating a lot of space in the upper back and across the lower back, softening the tummy. Don't forget to breathe. Let the head and neck relax. And then to come out of it, lifting the head and the shoulders, coming back up into an upward seated position. Leave the feet where they are and uncross the arms and cross them the other way. So it's the other hand on top this time. And if the hands are just further up on the thighs, that's fine. Or if they're only crossed a small bit, like at the wrists, that's fine as well. So you're just breathing in, lifting up out of the pelvic bowl and leaning forward to look down at the feet. Finding that steady, comfortable breath. Knowing that with each breath out, you're relaxing and releasing a little bit more. Letting go of all of the effort. And then to come out of it, lifting up the head and chest, coming back upright, uncrossing the hands and just shaking out the arms. I'm going to lean forward on the chair a little. You can move the feet forward a bit as well. Bring the left arm across your lap, so let your right arm hang. And just try to let the right arm swing like a pendulum, back and forth. And then let it swing like a pendulum from left to right. Then if you can, just let it start swinging like a pendulum in one circle in one direction. And then let it swing in the opposite direction. So your fingers might get a bit tingly, and it can be very hard to let go of the tendency to just try to do it yourself. Just try to let it just hang from the shoulder. And then when you're ready, looking up and sitting back upright, bring that right arm across your lap, and we'll do it on the other side. So the left arm hangs. Left arm is hanging down. Just trying to make it heavy, let it swing forward and back like a pendulum, so that it's really hanging out of the shoulder joint. And then left and right like a pendulum. And then naturally let it just start going into a circle in one direction. And change direction. And then coming back upright again. Lovely. Opening out the arms out to the sides and just crossing the arms across the body. One hand on the shoulder, one hand underneath. Just giving yourself a bit of a hug. Releasing the arms out. Crossing the arms the other direction. One hand on the shoulder, the other hand underneath. Little rock from side to side. And then releasing, placing the hands back on the laps again. So sitting back in the seat. Actually, I'll bring you up to the standing twist. I think it's nicer than the sitting twist. So if you've got cushions or blocks in front of you, just moving them away and scooting yourself forward on the chair a little bit, making sure the chair is nice and stable so there's no risk of it flipping behind you or anything like that. Bringing the weight over the knees, stacked over the ankles. The feet are in line with each other. Feet are hip-width distance apart. Reaching the arms out in front. Engaging the tummy muscles. Press the weight into the feet, down through the knees, and come up into standing in one go. Lovely. And then come to the back of the chair. We did this little twist in the last class. I think this is a nice one, where you're holding the back of the chair. And your hips are facing the chair. Your shoulders are square to the chair. And then just step your feet to the left-hand side so that the bottom half of the body is like hip side to the chair. And then try to turn your upper body to look over the top of the chair. So your upper half of the body is turning in one way, while the lower half of the body is turning in the other. And you can bend the knees gently, just bending and straightening to get into a nice comfortable position. Just holding it there for a moment. And then when you're ready, release to unwind, to come back to face the chair again. Get your feet in a nice comfortable position, and we're going to turn the feet in the other side so that your hip on to the chair. Both hands stay on the back of the chair, so your upper body is trying to turn towards the top of the chair, and the lower half of the body, bend and straighten the legs. Just help that twist to get comfortable. And don't forget to breathe. And gently releasing and coming back to center. So stepping back a little bit further from the back of the chair. Again, making sure there's no way that chair will move on you. Bending the knees, and you're not pushing the chair. You're just gently placing the hands on the top of the chair. Bending the knees, make sure the knees are tracking towards the feet and the feet are in line. And imagine you're sitting your hips down on a chair behind you, so you get a nice stretch of your back, of your spine. And you can even move the hips from side to side, maybe straightening one leg and straightening the other. And when you're ready, coming back up again into standing. Bring one foot forward so that you've got the back leg straight and the front knee slightly bent. And that just gives a nice stretch to the hip flexor. So the space at the top of the opposite leg. And then step that front foot back. Bring the other foot forward, slightly bending that front knee, straightening the back leg, and then that stretches this hip flexor. So if you've been sitting a lot, these will get tight because they'll get shorter. So it's a nice thing to do. And then step it back. And once more, we just look down at the floor, bending the knees. Imagine you're bringing your hips towards a chair behind you and straightening and bending the legs as much as you can. Don't worry about it if it doesn't feel like it's too available. You can just imagine doing it as well. And then when you're ready, lifting up the back, stepping forward. Now, while you're standing here, I want you to gently bend the knees. You're going to press your hips forward, doing a little gentle back bend. So bending the knees very slightly, press the hips forward, and then looking up towards the ceiling. So you're bending your back in the other direction. And then breathing out, coming back up again. Rolling the shoulders in one direction and then rolling them in the other. And then turning the chair. We're going to come back down onto the chair. So coming back into the chair the same way as we got out. Make sure the chair can't slip on you, and you can have the hands ready to reach out behind. But bending the knees, lowering the hips down. You're reaching the upper body forwards so that you're lowering down slowly and with control. Bring the hands to the sides of the chair and then lower yourself into the chair. So you're helping to train those thighs and your tummy muscles. So coming back up again, once more, leaning forward, let go of the sides of the chair Just see if you can do it pressing down into the feet and lifting up in one movement. And then back down in the same way. So hips are back, upper body is forward, hands are reaching towards the sides of the chair, lowering down. Love it. Now, bring the blocks or the cushions over underneath your feet again. And we'll do our closing practice. Now, just closing over the eyes, bringing the hands together, rubbing the palms of the hands together. Noticing the temperature of the hands, the sensation of the skin. And then bringing the hands up to the top of the head, gently placing the hands on the top of the head, noticing how the head is feeling at the end of the practice, or whether or not all of the thoughts slow down. Being aware, consciously aware without any judgment of what those thoughts are. And take a nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bring the hands around to the front of the face, cupping the hands over the eyes. Letting the muscles of the eyes relax and soften. Enjoying the darkness around the eyes. You might feel your eyebrows or your eyelashes. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bring the hands down along the jawline. Notice if there's any clenching or how the ears are feeling. Are the teeth at the back of the mouth, are they connected, or is there a little gap between them? Is the tongue relaxed in the mouth? Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then hands down on either side of the neck and throat, or your hands can come around to the back of the neck if you like. Take a nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Left hand on the tummy, right hand on the heart. Just letting the breath rise and fall in the tummy and in the chest. You can keep the hands there if you like, just to continue the connection with the breath, or you can rest the hands on your lap while I just read you a quick little poem. Peace is this moment without judgment. Do you think peace requires an end to war, or tigers eating only vegetables? Does peace require an absence from your boss, your spouse, yourself? Do you think peace will come some other place than here, some other time than now, in some other heart than yours? Peace is this moment without judgment, that's all. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Peace is this moment without thinking that it should be some other way, that you should feel some other thing, that your life should unfold according to your plans. Peace is this moment without judgment. So now bringing the hands together in prayer position, pressing the thumbs to the heart center, bowing the head for a moment, and just noticing how you're feeling throughout the body, the head, the tummy. Do you need a nice drink of water or a bit of fresh air or a little sleep? Again, it's this moment without judgment. So noticing how you're feeling and what you need to do for yourself, and thanking yourself for coming and making this time to practice with me today. Go, Ramila.